What's up, guys? So, Disco Monkey is in the house. So, today I'm quite bored. I have nothing much to do today. So, I was thinking, hey, why not make a Monster Hunter weapon tier list? Yeah. So, this Monster Hunter weapon tier list would be based on the Monster Hunter Rise demo that I played. I will explain which one's my favorite weapon and which why I like it and why I don't like it, things like that. Uh, Remember that this is a game, so play whatever weapon you like. This ranking is just my opinion. So yeah, let's get started, I guess. So first of all, we have the Great Sword. Great Sword. I've never been really a fan of Great Sword, so I have to put it at D. Yes. Um, so say I've only played starting from World, from the base game of World. So yeah, in Monster Hunter Rise, basically the gameplay is similar like World, where you have to time and position yourself right to do True Charge Slash. It's just that I hate the fact that I miss so much True Charge Slash when trying the demo out, and also the what you call that, the Silkbind moves. Honestly, outside of the power sieve, that is really amazing for mobility and everything. But the other one, the one where you bounce off the monster, you fly into the monster and you bounce off, and you can do a plunging or normal great aerial attack kind of thing. I miss a lot with that move. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I do not. I'm not really enjoying the Silkbind move for the Great Sword outside of the power sieve, because that is just really useful. So yeah, more so, I'm just not really a fan of how Great Sword playstyle is like. So yep. So yeah, so I have to put that at D. So moving on, Longsword. Well, Longsword is an easy. Oh wait a minute. Let me move this. Yeah, there you go. Longsword is an easy A, not S, because I find Longsword to be, it's a very anime weapon. It's really nice to use it. I already know the basics basically, but I just find it kind of boring. Also, yeah, I just kind of find it boring. And then in Rise, honestly, everything is really nice. And then we don't have to rely on Spirit Helmbreaker all the time, because it is using the Silkbind move now for that. The Serene Pose, damn, that just looks amazing visually. And I guess it's quite good for the damage, yeah. But yeah, longsword is just longsword, so very anime. It's really fun to use once you get the timing for the counter and everything. And especially the Yai slash, which now if you time it perfectly, not only will it counter, but it will also increase your gauge directly. And doesn't if even if you miss, you didn't time it correctly, you still can you wouldn't lose a gauge. So yeah, that's really nice. Um, so yeah, longsword is just really all nice all around for me. Now, sword and shield. Sword and shield. It started out around B for me, but once I get used to the Reaper slash, it's definitely an S. So yeah, why did I say it was a B at first? Because I didn't know about the Reaper slash. So if you guys play World, there's the infinite combo, which is kind of stationary. You press B multiple times, and I think three times, and then directional and a Y would kind of do a round slash kind of thing, but then you can still continue your B combo afterwards. It's really nice for positioning and basically endless combo. In Rise, it's not like that anymore. So there's this thing called the Reaper slash, where you press X and A at the same time. Yeah, that will basically do the same round slash, uh, like in the directional Y in World. But to make it an endless combo, you have to do it before you do the last hit with your A attack, your A combo or your X combo. Yeah. Um. Also, the perfect rush is just really cool. The fact that we can basically choose either if we want to stab and then jumps up, or we do the round slash and directly do another what's the name, perfect rush combo. It's really nice. And then the spinning silk bind move, the iframe is that is amazing. I like starting my fight with that, especially with the monster brawlers when I was fighting Ratian. Um, I never really used the other silk bind move. I mean, it is really good to just kind of quickly move around the arena, I guess. But yeah, uh, Sword and Shield in Monster Hunter Rise, after I figure out the Reaper Slash, it just feels amazing. It feels like the world one. It's fluid and everything. So yeah, definitely, I really enjoy Sword and Shield. It probably do. I have one of my fastest clear also with the Sword and Shield. Yeah. So now moving on, Dual Blades. Mm, Dual Blades. Dual Blades. I'll have to put it at a C. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not really a big fan of Dual Blades. Sure, uh, I mean, the damage is not supposed to be that high, but you're hitting a lot, so it shreds the monster's HP, which I kind of like. I kind of like it. It's just that I don't like the animation lock that I'm into most of the time. When using dual blade, yeah. But honestly, the Silkbind move, both of them, is actually really nice to pull off. There's the Shrouding Vault, I think that's what it's called, where you basically can counter the enemy's attack. I'm still not familiar with it that much. I was only able to pull it off a few times, but the increased speed that you get now in the demon mode is just, it feels amazing. Yeah, I think it is faster than if you're just running without your weapon. So yeah, it's really good to move around and everything. And then we still have to play it in the actual game because the damage from the one where you kind of stick the knife into the monster and then you hit the part, it doesn't it feels like it just adds another combo kind of thing. I want to see in the real game later, like how big that damage can get, or it's just another, yeah, adds another hit basically, which is great, for dual blades, especially because you're hitting a lot. So yeah, but as of now, dual blade, I'm not really a huge fan of it. Now, hammer is A. Yeah, definitely A for me. I I don't know. A hammer is just very simple. It's a very simple weapon. Yeah. Um. Right now in Rise, what they changed is that now there are two modes. Basically, if you look below the health bar, there is the yellow icon and the purple icon. So to what I understand, in the yellow icon, you charge faster if you want to do a charge attack, but it is weaker. And then if you are in the purple state, the purple icon one, it will charge a bit longer, and your damage will be uh you do you know stronger charge attack, to what I understand at least. Yeah, and then the impact crater move that uses two silkbind, that is just very satisfactory when you're able to pull it off and then hits the monster head. It just feels so good to do that. Yeah, and then outside of that, everything else is just similar to what Hammer was like in World. Um, oh yeah, and also now we can spam the aerial spinning move, which I really enjoy. But I have to say, I do miss a lot of it. I do most of the time. I overshoot it over the monster, so instead of hitting the monster, I just jump over the monster. That happened quite a lot. But yeah, Hammer is really fun to play. Basically, it's a very simple weapon. Nothing much changes outside of the two states thing. Yeah, and also I'm not quite sure about this, but I think if you are in the purple state, you do get damage boost. Like if you remember in Monster Hunter World, if you charge your if you power charge your hammer to the third level, and you will get like an attack buff. Yeah, you get an attack buff, but then if you get hit or roared, you loses that. Yeah. So I'm not sure if in the purple icon you get that permanent attack buff, because I don't see any glow around my character or anything. So yeah, I guess, yeah, I don't really focus on the damage number that I deal out, so I'm not really sure about that. I will just have to see it later in the actual game and see the stats. Yeah. So now, Hunting Horn is a D. Ah, no. Definitely S tier. Definitely an S tier weapon now in Monster Hunter Rise. If this was Monster Hunter World, it would be at D. I'm not a fan of it, but in Monster Hunter Rise they changed so much. But they changed so much, and it's really cool playing. Basically break dancing. You're break dancing the monster to death. So yeah, really enjoy using the hunting horn in the Monster Hunter Rise. The I forgot what they call it, the earthquake or something, the one where you kind of uh throw the knife into the stick the knife into the monster, and then you just kind of play a beat, and then massive stun value. Yeah, that feels great to pull off, of course. And the slight beat, which it has a basically power armor, yeah. So you can't get flinch when you're going through the monster, even if you attack, kind of thing. So yeah, hunting corn. There's not much to say. I really love the change they make to it. I know some people don't like it because it just becomes a very easy weapon to use. I think, I think that's one of the reasons why some people do not really enjoy. But I think the majority of people do like hunting horn a lot more. It is more accessible to anyone right now. The hunting horn. So yeah, um, I think no, I think the hunting horn will trump hammer in popularity in Monster Hunter Rise. I just, uh, personally at least, I got much faster clear with hunting horn. Yeah. Um, and it just the cool factor about it, as I mentioned before, it's just breakdancing at the monster to till death. So yeah. Now moving on, Lance. Lance is I love Lance. I love Lance. Lance is A tier for me. Um, Definitely the damage is. Oh, I mean, it's not supposed to be a high damaging weapon. Basically, all you do is poke, 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 and then. Well, now I guess you poke twice and you do the white slash. That deals quite a lot of damage now because you can charge it. I just love the one where you stick the knife to the monster and you can jump towards the monster. Just a really fun move to pull off, and I really enjoy the counter heavy gameplay. I really enjoy it, the counter heavy gameplay. They don't change much on the basic combo and everything. It's just more mobility, and then the Herculean draw, which only takes one wire buff, which is amazing. Um, it do increase the damage by a significant amount. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, not much to say about Lance. They didn't change much about it. But they do, I guess, kind of fix the issue of that it's not doing literally any damage in World and Iceborne. So yeah, the Herculean draw is a really great addition. Now, to its explosive cousin, the gun lens. Gun lens would have been S tier, however, it is now B tier, sadly. Yeah, um, in World Iceborne, I really using Gunland is really nice in World and Iceborne. Like people say, it doesn't really have the mobility, but well, at first it doesn't. But once you have evade extender, you know, once you have once you put in like level 2 or level 3 evade extender, it actually feels mobile. But what I don't like about it in Rise is that it I feel like they reduce the distance of the back hop. or maybe it's just because I haven't been playing Gunlands without Evade Extender for too long that I can remember, but it just feels like that the back hop is shorter now, and also the lunging thrust. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. The forward thrust. The yeah, basically where you move forward while swing the gun lance in upward motion thing. Yeah, I'm definitely sure that the distance for that is like reduced by half from like what Iceborne or like yeah, and I think I don't know why it feels like they just kind of remove the mobility even more from Gunlands, which I feel like the one in Iceborne is already perfect. There is though a fix for the back hop that I've seen somewhere. I think it's uploaded by Charles Slayer, another YouTuber. You guys can just try to find his YouTube channel somewhere. But I think he did an explanation about how to cancel charge into a longer hop. Yeah, basically canceling charge shelling into like a longer hop. Yeah, there is such technique. I was able to pull it off a couple of times, but problem is like in a real situation when I'm like fighting Bitsune, I just completely forgot that I can do that. Yeah. So yeah, not really a big fan of the changes they make to the mobility basically. And also I think the wire and fire cooldown is way slower than what it was. They do have the one of the Silkbind move that help reduce the cooldown for the wire and fire, which is it's not a significant decrease to the cooldown, but well, it is something, I guess. Though the Silkbind move that do increase the sharpness is really, really great. It feels like you have a now Gunlance feels like you have a guard point or like a counter guard like Lance, and it increases your sharpness gauge, which is just amazing to me. Yeah, that is one of Gunlance weak, I guess annoyance for me. And basically in whenever I'm using it, is because you can't really run like Master's Touch because you're not critting with the shelling. So yeah, now with this move, I can it's quite spammable if you time them if you do them correctly, I guess. Yeah, basically I kind of have my sharpness always at blue most of the time when I'm using Gunlance when you know in the demo. So yeah, I outside of the mobility changes and the longer cooldown for the Wyvern Fire, I'm yeah, everything else is great. Everything else is great about it. It's just those three that I mentioned that I'm not that makes me don't like the Gunlance as much, and I like the Gunlance more. Now moving on to Switch X. Switch X, it's my main, so it's definitely S tier. There's not much to say there. I really love the fact that X the X mode also get affected by the charge file. So yeah, so now basically going into the X mode, it's as viable as going into the sword mode. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about it. Um, s- there people do have an issue the fact that the sword gauge now, uh, the charge rate to increase the sword gauge, uh, it it's slower. Yeah, I think it's slower. Though there is a workaround there. Basically doing the after you do the waltzing and then you do the basically where you charge up the X mode. Yeah, now in I'm not sure if it still have the same buff like what they have in Iceborne, but what I know is that if you do charge your X, your sword attack will fill up the sword gauge like faster. Yeah. So there's that. And the best thing about it is that you don't have to hit an enemy to have that effect up. So yeah, that's really great, I guess. I don't have a problem with that, but some people do. Yeah. At first, when I didn't know that I can, have that effect on my sword. Yeah, I also have quite a bit of trouble, but once I realized that, it's easy. It's easy. And then the two Silkbind moves. the one that maintains the sword meter thing, and the invisible gambit. Those two are just really nice to use. Yeah, the invisible gambit, and especially sometimes you just don't realize how low your HP is because you don't get flinch or anything. And it's and then yeah, I can basically stay on my sword mode most of the time without having to fill it up because of the one where it increase your sword meter gauge and doesn't run out for a few seconds. Yeah, it's amazing the two Silkbind move they added to it. Now moving on to Charge Blade. I hate to put it there, but Charge Blade is a C for me. Well, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of the weapon. I can use it. I can use it. Yeah, I'm not the best at it, but I can clear things with it. It's just that there's so much things going on, and then there's so much things going on basically, and I just don't. I'm just not a fan of it. I guess I'm not really sure how to explain it, but yeah, I'm just not a big fan of Charge Blade. Though I do have to say the elemental discharge, the SAD basically that is one badass move. And the Silkbind move where the counter one where basically you get your all the files back directly, that is really really handy. Yeah. That is really really handy. So I'm very sure people that are good in Charge Blade that will be using that move a lot, and they'll be able to keep up their file. They'll be able to keep dishing out those SAD more frequently than before. Yeah. Yeah, but this just because of my personal preference and my opinions. That's why I'm not really into the charge plates. Yeah, sadly. And now insect glaive. Insect glaive is I hate insect glaive. Insect glaive is D tier. Yeah. Why is D tier? Basically, I just do not enjoy the getting buff mechanics with the Kinsect. Like, yeah, this is the same basically same complaint that I have in Water and Iceborne. Basically, some in some cases when the stars do align, getting the buff is really easy. Getting the red buff and the white buff, those are the two important ones. And then if you're lucky, I guess I can get the orange buff. But sometimes the getting the red buff and the white buff can take a while if the monsters move too much or you're just not in your game and missing quite a lot. But when you do have your all the three buffs, it feels great to use it. Yeah, it feels great to use it. And I think the insect glaive invites do have if you get three buff, do have flinch free when you're mid air, so you don't get knocked out by by small moves basically. Um, the two Silkbind moves from Insect Glaive, eh, in the demo at least, it's not my favorite. It's quite boring. Yeah, that's the best way I can put it. It's quite boring, but it is really good for repositioning or just getting the hell out of the monster's attack. Because one of the move, the Recall Kinsect, do have quite a large iframe on that move. So yeah, uh-huh. Oh yeah, and also I'm just not a fan of the mapping for the controls because it just feels bizarre that I'm aiming with RZ, which is usually to fire. Yeah, there's just that I'm not really that I don't really like, but everything else is okay about it. I'm just not a big fan of the weapon. Now for bow is definitely A. Yeah, bow is definitely an A tier for me. Mm, if once I do get used to range weapons in Rise, yeah, there's the whole thing where I'm just not used to playing range in Rise because when your weapon is out, usually to use wire buck, I use L, Z, and then X or A, right, in any other weapon. But in if you're using range, you're supposed to no, because LZ is aiming, so you have to use R to use your R and then X or A to use your Silkbind move. And if I switch weapon a lot from range melee kind of thing, I just my fingers are just more accustomed to using it on LZ, so I keep on mispressing the buttons when I'm trying to use the Silkbind and end up with me dying. But honestly, the bow, well, we haven't get to see the other stuff for the bow because there are people from the trailers and the showcase we've seen. There are look like, I guess, piercing and piercing and no other buff from the rain thingy that the bow can do. Yeah, we still haven't seen basically all there is to it for the bow. And then, but the two Silkbind move, hot damn, dude. The fact that you can just retreat back, go in any other direction basically, and then while just squatting, recharge your energy that fast. That was just insane later in the game when we do actually have like the stamina reduction skills and yeah, and the stamina regeneration skills. That will be insane for a bow. Yeah, and then of course the I forgot what you call it, the one that increased your attack basically. Yeah, it's just a really nice thing to do. Yeah, there's not much to say about Boo. It's pretty much the same. Yeah. I mean like in the demo because we haven't got any other bow. Now for light bowgun. Light bowgun is I'll put it as C. I'll put it as C, yeah. Well, it's not that I don't like the weapon or anything. It's just that I don't find huge enjoyment when using the weapon. Yeah. I mean, it's because, literally you're just kind of walking around mid-range, shoot the monster, and then occasionally dodge and stuff. And now you have the vaulting one, which is, cool and all. And you can stick the Wyvern Blast to the monster. Yeah, it's really cool. It's just, I find the gameplay to be quite boring, I suppose. Yeah. We'll have to see though, in the actual game, what about the other light bowguns and the ammo types basically. And I realized that now light bowgun can do clusters. I'm not quite sure if you can do that in the previous game or not, but I think this is a new ammo for the light bowgun that they can use, maybe. And now for heavy bowgun. Heavy bowgun is a B tier for me. Yeah. Well, I've always just enjoyed heavy bowgun more because, well, sometimes I play without the shield, so it do feel more dangerous, and I feel more badass carrying a big ass gun. And then the Wyvern Heart and the Wyvern Snipe is just really cool to use. And then, but also what I like is that heavy bowgun now have, I guess, more depth into it because you can charge your ammo now. The charge is honestly really quite fast. It's really fast actually. Yeah, it's really fast. Yeah, increase the damage by a significant amount, and then the Silkbind move definitely helps with the mobility. With basically can skid and yeet around the monster, and of course the counter shot, which is definitely very satisfying to pull off. Yeah, and it deals quite a high amount of damage. So yeah, heavy bowgun is just I just like using heavy bowgun more. Yeah. So I guess to recap, it's like let's start from the bottom. So the D tier for me, the lowest tier, would be Greatsword and Insect Cleave. Well, nothing against it. It's not really my favorite weapon. And then C tier, I have Dual Blade, Charge Blade, and Light Bowgun. B tier, Gun Lance, Heavy Bowgun. A tier, Longsword, Hammer, Lance, and Bow. Well, for S tier, these are basically the three weapons that I'll probably be using quite a lot. Well, finishing the story mode for Monster Hunter Rise. So you'll be Sword and Shield, Hunting Horn, and Switch Axe. Switch Axe, no, definitely I'll be using that because it is my main. So yeah, that's what I have for the tier list, I guess. For the Monster Hunter Rise weapon tier list, my impressions and yeah, what I like about it. So yeah, mm, I guess so. If you guys enjoy this type of videos, go ahead and like and subscribe, and no, write something in the comment. Tell me what's your favorite weapon. How would you rank the weapon? Yeah. Um. So yeah, you guys can also follow me on Instagram at KYH27. And if you guys do enjoy movie talks or movie discussion, you can go check my friend's channel at JAWmovies. Yeah, and go ahead and check out our Councilman podcast there. So yeah, that's about it. So I'll see you guys in the next episode.